Meeting shall come to order at 7:02. Would you please rise? Councilwoman Tony Jones will lead us in the invocation.
I don't actually have prayer for tonight, but I found this on the internet, and I think that this will remind us that we are all children of God. When praying one day, a woman asked, "Who are you, God?" He answered, "I am." "But who is I am?" she asked. He replied, "I am love, I am peace, I am grace, I am joy, I am strength, I am safety, I am shelter, I am power. I am the creator, I am the comforter, I am the beginning and the end. I am the way, the truth, and the light." With tears in her eyes, she looked toward heaven and said, "Now I understand. But who am I?" she asked God. God tenderly wiped the tears from her eyes and whispered, "You are mine." So let us never forget that we are all children of God.
Very good.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Would you call the roll, please?
Adams. Jones. Here. Zabrati. Jackson. Here. Brownlee.
Here.
Krasinski.
Here.
Agee. Here. Albert.
Here. We have a special presentation this evening with Chief Apolarchik doing the honors.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Thank you for coming out tonight. This evening, Mayor Lansky and I are here to honor two of my officers, two of the department's officers, for their efforts this year in OVI enforcement. At this time, I'd like Officers Kyle French and Officer Matthew Rhodes to step up front. With all the negative that goes on around here, it's often just good once in a while to have something positive. These officers throughout the year and consistently have performed in the area of OVI enforcement during their career. Both of them were hired October 23rd, 2011. They are one badge number apart. Both are Army veterans. Officer Rhodes served 11 years in the Army Reserve as a military police officer. He's done one term in Iraq and one in Afghanistan. Officer French served 5 years in the U.S. Army and an additional 3 years in the U.S. Army Reserve, and he did 2 tours in Iraq. Officer Rhodes was awarded the 2012 MAD Award for his efforts in OVI enforcement, and Officer French in 2013 received the Chief's Award of Valor for pulling a female out of the path of an out-of-control vehicle during the investigation and accident on Route 480. What we're bringing here for tonight, however, is to honor them for their OVI enforcement. We all hear, we all see things on television regarding drunk drivers and the importance it is to take them off the road and to do that. These officers consistently perform in this area, but particularly in 2013, they exceeded what would be normal standards for not just our department, but for any department. For that reason tonight, I'm going to give them the Chief's Award of Merit. And what that's for is outstanding effort in any area of enforcement. In this particular case, it's for OVIs. The police officers out there know there's a lot of paperwork that goes on with an OVI. There's a lot of work that's involved, and in spite of the fact that it's a traffic offense, there's quite a bit of investigation that goes with it as well. These officers have shown that they're not only willing to go out there and enforce these laws, but they're also willing to go out and do the work necessary to ensure successful prosecutions and to take these drivers off the road. Between the two of them last year, or over the course of this year actually, they removed 46 drunk drivers from our roads this year. 46.
Very good.
For their efforts, I'd like to first pin one on Officer French. Officer French, at 21 the right time? 20, yeah, 21, at the time these were figured, 21 OBI arrests.
All
And
right.
we're giving him the Chief's Award of Merit. Officer Rhodes had, in a series of one-upmanship here, got 25 arrests this year. Outstanding. It's very commendable on both these men. Congratulations. Excellent work. Thank you. Congratulations. Mayor Lance, do you have anything to say?
Well, you just received the Chiefs Award, so I also would like to present to you the Mayor's Award. Also a plaque, Real Heroes Don't Wear Capes. And I couldn't buy you donuts, but I did get you a gift card. Dunkin' Donuts. Oh, sure. Sure. I brought my wife back there in a plunger. There's my first daughter, Veronica, with my mother-in-law, Mary Lynn. And Rhonda is 6 months pregnant with my second daughter.
My family was unable to attend today. We live kind of far away, and it's that time for our kids.
What colors do you have?
I'm my wife Ashley. We've been married 8 years. My oldest daughter Brooke, she's 7. My middle daughter Peyton's 3, and my son Matt Jr. is 1.
Okay, we are here.
Thank you.
That's a great way to start the meeting.
Yes.
Positive, great guys. There's no addendum this evening, but we do have minutes. May I please have a motion to approve the minutes from the special meeting on July 22nd as presented, 2014, and July 23rd, 2014 as amended.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Call the roll.
Adams. Jones.
Yes.
Sephardi.
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
Brownlee.
No.
Bujansky.
Yes.
A.G. Yes. Motion passed.
Thank you. Communications this evening?
Yes, Madam Chair, from the Planning and Zoning Commission. A recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission to the City of Maple Heights Council for a map text change pursuant to Maple Heights Code 126803 and 126804. More specifically, a map change for 5501 and 5515 Warrensville Center Road, permanent parcel number 783-19025 and permanent parcel number 783-19030. Currently zoned neighborhood commercial to change to general commercial. And a text change to Maple Heights Code 128004, adding used car sales as a conditionally permitted use in a general commercial zoning district. From Mayor Lansky, the Mayor's Court Report for the month of October 2014.
Thank you. We do have one committee report, which was the committee of the whole meeting, which we had on November 17th here at the 2014 at the Senior Center. At that meeting, we had the two chiefs, fire chief and police chief, Mayor Linda Bocat, our prosecutor Brian Blair, I knew it was a B, Blair Milling, and all of council. We had a presentation of MDIS, who is our building company that we have outsourced to. CEO Jeff Walarski gave us statistics on what they have done over the past year and how they are faring in our building department. Rick LeConte, who is our building official here in the city, also gave us a few statistics as well with the number of permits that they have done and their total body of work. At this point in time, we have 2 city employees that work in the building department. Finance Director Irene Kroll reviewed the 2014 revenue and expenditures, and then moved on to show us what was going to be expected, what we were going to be expecting for 2015, and the revenue and expenditures. At this point in time, the following are not in the projected budget. These are the following departments' programs. One is recreation, economic development, the DARE program, the DUI enforcement and education funding is not there. The affected senior services, which is transportation, the senior center, meals, home delivered meals and meals here, and the food pantry. Those have no budget line items as at this point in time. Okay, moving on. May I have a motion to take 2014-76 out of committee and place it on the agenda this evening for a second reading?
Second.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Adams?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Sephardi?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Brownlee?
Yes.
Japansky?
Yes.
Agee?
Yes.
Thank you. We now move to our department reports, and starting with Fire Chief Castellanos. Castellanos. Didn't I say that? No, I said Castellucci. Chief is the dogs. It's all about the dogs.
Calls to date for the fire department are 4,211. The fire department responded to a structure fire on November 17th at 4:38 in the morning at 5529 Dalewood. On arrival, we had an unoccupied two-story bungalow that was well involved in fire. The department was able to prevent the fire from damaging the two adjacent occupied homes. Damage to the structure was estimated at $70,000, and the fire remains under investigation. There have also been some questions regarding out-of-service hydrants in the city. The list of these hydrants was again sent to the Cleveland Water Department on November 18th, requesting a potential repair date. We are currently waiting for a reply to that inquiry.
Thank you, Chief. Law Department, Mr. Montello.
Thank you. No report, but just to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and wish everybody would be optimistic, try to be optimistic and come up with some ideas. So thank you.
Thanks, John. Police Department, Chief Popolichek.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll keep my remarks brief. Since November 1st, for the month of November, the police department has responded to 1,098 calls for service. This will bring us well over 20,000 calls for the year. We'll probably be on track for about 24,000 to 25,000. Relative to Chief Castellanos' comments regarding the fire on Dalewood, the police department is conducting an investigation of that matter, and that investigation is ongoing. End of report.
Thank you, Chief. Human Services Department, Mrs. Bopat.
Thank you, Madam President. You just heard the Council President mention that the Department of Human Services, which covers the Recreation Department, the Senior Center, and the Food Pantry, are not in the budget for 2015. And we lost, the senior levy lost by 45 votes in the last election. We are still anticipating the counting of the provisional ballots. There are 168 provisional ballots that were cast. Those were going to be verified by yesterday by the Board of Elections and counted by next Tuesday, the 25th. We are hopeful that we will come out with at least 46 votes. So we're keeping our fingers crossed and saying a few prayers. In addition to that, although it depends on what happens with all of the things that go on, we have received word from the Cuyahoga County Department of Senior and Adult Services that our grant was accepted, and we have been awarded $92,000 for the next 2 years to run transportation and congregate meals. And from the Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging, today we received notification that we have been granted $32,500 in the grant process to provide transportation, home-delivered meals, and congregate meals. And in addition to that, they will send us the 20,000 meals that we serve out of this building and home-delivered come to us free of charge. Depending on what happens with everything from now on, that will all be given back if we are not open. Okay, thank you, end of report.
Thank you, Mrs. Bopan.
Oh, I'm sorry, next Wednesday we will be breaking bread here and having our Thanksgiving celebration. Anyone 60 and over in the community is welcome to come. You would just need to tell me that you would be here that day. And of course, all of City Council would be welcome to join us that day as well. Thank you.
Finance Department, Mrs. Kroll.
Good evening to everyone. The council president pretty much summed up the activity taking place in the finance department. We're in the process of closing out for the 2014 and also preparing budgets for 2015 and still working with the state fiscal officers in regards to our fiscal watch. So that pretty much takes up what we're doing. Thank you.
Thank you. We now have time for the citizens, residents' comments. If you'd like to step up to the podium, you're welcome to share your thoughts. 3 minutes. Name, address, please.
Bob Haley, 16226 Lakewood Court.
We can't hear you here.
Oh, can you hear me now? Yes. 16226 Lakewood Court.
You just have to speak louder.
First of all, I want to apologize for Brownlee's remark saying I called the voters stupid. I did not say that. I said what was the result was stupid. Because you're cutting your nose off to spite your face. You're going to need the services of this city. I have a solution. Before I give you the solution, I'm going to ask how many people here can answer who was the greatest president we have had in the past 100 years? Why? Do I have anybody? FDR. Second is John Kennedy. FDR instituted the Social Security, which we benefit from it. He also instituted work programs. I'm going to suggest one of the programs he had, WPA, but reverse it. Call it VWP, Volunteer Work Program. I suggest that almost everybody that's here and people that voted against our budget by not increasing the revenue coming in, also causing chaotic traffic, removing the lights. I volunteer, I get paid by the city as a school guard, but I volunteer my services during the evening and in early morning. I shovel the sidewalks, crosswalks in my area where I guard. I'm going to ask Brownlee to be a volunteer for the service department. Join the service department in snow removal. That's what I do, volunteer. How about you be the first to volunteer your services to the service department? Because you help create the decay in the city. No answer? Well, I still want volunteers. We can volunteer and help build the city back up without increasing the budget. By volunteering in the service department, the fire department, here at the senior center, without increasing the budget. I'm one of the volunteers and a worker. I want to see this city thrive. from the heart. I've loved the city since 1955. I've only been here in the city since 1973. But I've worked in the city years before. I cooked United.
Thank you, Bob.
Give me half a second longer. I've been in business management all my adult life. I never asked anybody that worked for me, that worked that I asked them to do that I wouldn't do. I scrub floors, toilets, and so forth. I'm asking for volunteers. Probably wake up.
Mr. Mayor, that isn't appropriate.
That isn't, I'm sorry. That irritates me.
I understand. Thank you.
Greetings, Mayor, Chief, Council.
Steve?
Stafford L. Jeanette, 15051 James Drive. I'm one of the commissioners with the planning board. All right. No, it was too close. Thank you. I don't know if you can hear me. I'll try to speak up as loud as I can. I'm speaking in the first person, but this is not in representation of anyone, but a remark in support of the seniors. Although I'm not a senior yet, one day I will be, and I pray to be, and that the Lord would bless me with many years. But what I wanted to mention, that one of the biggest challenges facing our seniors today is the indifference the rest of us have towards them. So long as our elders are fed, clothed, and housed at a very basic level, we tend to ignore them and imagine that they're someone else's problem, instead of recognizing their worth in our community. Small towns across the country have been hit hard by financial crises, and many government programs have been cut. Programs are being cut which our elders, those among us who are our parents and have raised us, and who have worked hard their whole lives. And we understand that our local taxpayers are struggling to get by also. But this is especially true to our elders, whose savings and homes are worth less, yet are asked every year to support rising towns and school budgets. Council, as you look at the budget, and as you look at the situation going on in the city, and I know we're struggling, we're facing challenging times. And I've been privileged to work behind the scenes, so I know things are happening. We're trying to make the city better. But let's not forget about our seniors. And one day we're going to be seniors. My mother and father raised me, and they did a beautiful job, I think. and one of my mentors is a senior. And God orchestrated us to come together. I'm in Alex Adams District, District 1, and I thank God for him. And my neighbor, I know every day she comes to the senior center, 5 days a week, I believe. The bus comes and picks her up. But I don't want us to forget about one day, the Bible says this, we will grow old. Things are not going to be easy like they are now. And that's the way things are. That's biblical. You know, there's going to be days that we're not going to be able to do the same thing that we used to do. And you pray that someone will be there to support you in your glory years. That you don't have, because there's seniors who are afraid to be at home alone. You know, there's seniors that, you know, they'll put 3 or 4 locks on their door, just paranoid. And we don't want to forget about them. We don't want to forget how important these programs are here at the senior center. And I asked council and the residents, you know, whatever we can do to support our seniors. And we understand this by no means are we saying that we're not going through a financial crisis right now and the budget is tight. But I believe when we support the right thing, that old scripture, put me first and I add all things to you. If you put the right thing first, things will fall in place. And that has a year, let it hear. I pray that it's on good ground. And that's my tidbit. Thank you, Council, for giving me the opportunity to come before you.
Thank you.
great joy for me to be here today.
Could you state your name and address for the record, please?
Why?
Because everyone knows him.
Almost Dobroshelski, but for short, Bob Dover, 16095 Broadway. You sure? You know, as I grow older, I've had many absolutely amazing days in my life. Days of great significance. I never had a day that was as amazing as this day today. I never had a day as amazing for me as this one was today for me. Two people that I don't know anything about and only know their first names impinged on my name so that those two people that I don't know and only know their names made me think and think so much that maybe I am not as alive as I should be. And maybe I don't think as much as I should. One of these names that came to me this morning was the manager of a Bob Evans restaurant in Beechwood. I never in the world thought I would hear something like this regarding this man on this day, or any day of my life. I don't know him, I only know his name, but I will cherish that name, I hope, for as long as I can remember things. I wish I could remember each of your names, all of you people who are sitting here. And I should cherish you all. And I should think very highly of you as makers of our laws and our ordinances and what you do for us. I know I haven't cherished as much as I should the services of our mayor and of the police department and the fire department and the service people. They do outstanding things. But today I heard a name that I never heard before, and I don't know his last name. His name is Michael. And then a few minutes after that, I heard another name. And I wrote that name down too. And I thought, oh my goodness, I don't know this lady. The name is Lisa. But I heard two things about these two people that absolutely, after knowing so many other things that I heard today, made me wonder that I haven't lived fully and as thankfully as I should live. I should be thankful to every one of you sitting here and to the citizens of this city. I should be more alive to you and to the people of our town. But you know what these two people did? They called the city. They learned from extraneous sources not connected with the city that we were in dire straits. And the manager of the Beechwood, Bob Evans, said, come for food. We'll give you food for your people.
Wow.
Lisa, from a warehouse here in Maple Heights. What's the name of it? I have it here somewhere. It's not important, but she's with a candy company. She said, come, I have food for you. I heard of the dire straits of our seniors and our citizens. And you know what I learned today? I learned not only about Thanksgiving and thinking. I started this morning, before I heard these two things, I started this morning with some magnificent people, and some of them are in the audience. And you know what the topic was this morning that I started with? It was death. Death was the topic. Why was death the topic? Because I came this morning to the senior citizen area with some sadness, anticipating the second year of my wife's demise. And I miss my dear love very much.
Oh, yes.
And people who suffer so much and who sacrifice so much were in this group that I was talking to this morning. And do you know what they did for me? They made me smile.
Amen.
They made me laugh. They made me transcend my suffering, and they have suffered more than I.
Wow.
With all kinds of problems. The greatest asset we have in this city today, let me tell you something. The greatest asset are its people. You members of council, I hope I have the wisdom and the grace to look at you as individuals and see you as servants of our city with great joy. I hope that in learning these two things, and then learning all kinds of other things, I didn't know that the senior citizen group here does so much for so many people. I heard the story of a young mother who couldn't pay for formula for her child. And I heard that through donations that come through the senior citizen group, but not from city funds, that those donations helped her out to buy formula for her child. I heard that many people under the age of 60, don't be deceived, it's not just us oldsters who gain from this. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Well, this wise man Bob said we all grow older, and that one's anticipating getting older. Would you come up here a minute, please? I want to shake your hand. And I want to say, young man, I learned something else this morning. I not only learned living a little bit better, but loving a little bit more. And that is so important. And don't be deceived by nonsense.
Yes.
Don't let nonsense govern your lives.
Yes.
We need this center. It's the most famous senior citizen center in this part of Ohio.
That's right.
It serves more people than any other center does. It does magnificent things for not only oldsters like me. And by the way, I may look old, but you know something, and I say it to all of you. I say it very sincerely. And I didn't think I was going to say this, but what the hell? I mean, what the heck? I'm as young as any person in here. I have youth. And you know, all of you senior citizens who are here, and those of you who are somewhat younger than I, you have youth too. This is the codicil that I'm going to add, and I didn't plan on adding. Oh, he's giving me some kind of sign language. Am I supposed to understand this? Oh, maybe I scored a touchdown. Oh, all right. Well, I had not more to say, but I will end with this thought. I am as young as anybody in this room. I wish that little baby was still here. That little baby was beautiful. And do you know why I'm as young as that little baby? I'll tell you a secret that you all, most of you at least know, and you should know it. and take it to heart. Jesus Christ said, "Behold, I make all things new."
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So watch out.
All right.
I'm a new babe. And watch out. I want to make some, what does this mean? We didn't do that.
I did.
Do you have my name right, Madam President?
You get the name
You confused your officers, but that's all right. And let me just tease you a little bit, because I'm very grateful to you and to all of your work, and to every member of this council. Your jobs are not all, people don't always tell you what they should tell you in gratitude. And to the police of this community, I heard stories about what they did for the senior citizens today. Magnificent. The fire department. I know about the hard work of our mayor and the administrators. Bless you all, you bunch of babies.
Thank you, Mr. Grover. Maybe you'd like to come back next meeting and share some. That was a good.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.